Hi crocheters, this is Joanna with Joanna Amigurumi, and I'm going to show you how to make the chill pickle. This is a pattern where the pickle actually can sit on its bottom, so no more wobbly pickles. This one is using Premier Basics Chenille Brights yarn. We're going to use Parfait Chunky's limited edition seaweed salad color. We will also need a 4.5 millimeter hook, a needle, scissors, stuffing, and 10 millimeter eyes. You can also use whatever size safety eyes that you need for the size yarn that you choose. You can certainly use any other yarn, worsted weight acrylic or cotton or even velvet yarn would be great for this project. So let's get started. One of the tricks I like to use when using chenille yarn is to make a magic ring starting with worsted weight yarn. So we're going to start our magic ring just as we normally would. We're going to pull this up without pulling through on that chain. We're just going to pull through our color. It gets a little tricky holding all the parts here, but get that tail out of the way. We're going to crochet 8 as we normally would. If you're not using this method, just go ahead and make a magic ring as you normally would with your yarn of choice. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I'm just gonna tighten that up. I don't pull too tight to start with, just to make sure I can get my hook into the first stitch. We are now going to do an increase in each stitch around for a total of 16. And this is the end of our second row, so we can go ahead and tighten up this knot so we can hide the white in the front. If you can see it at all, you can there's a little tiny mark there you can see, but you really can't see it. So if you want, you can just take a piece of your string later and weave it in there and hide it. We're just gonna let it go for now. And we're just gonna tie this together. And I'm going to cut this piece down, and I'm going to cut a piece long enough to use as my stitch marker. I use string for stitch markers, so that's what we're going to do here. The third round is going to be a single crochet and then an increase 8 times around. So we're going to single crochet in the next stitch, increase in the stitch after that, and continue that pattern the whole way around. That's our last increase in that last stitch. So then the fourth and fifth round are going to be the same. We're going to single crochet in each stitch around for a total of 24 stitches in each round. And that's the end of round 5. We'll go ahead and move our stitch marker. I usually don't move it every single time. Go ahead and move it here to start round 6. We're going to start by doing 8 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And in the next stitch we're going to do a triple crochet. So to triple crochet we're going to yarn under, go into the next stitch, yarn under, pull up, yarn under and pull through the next 2 stitches, yarn under, pull through the next 2 stitches, yarn under and pull through the last 2 stitches. And then we're going to finish the round with 15 single crochets. And that is the end of that round. Next round will be 18 single crochets. After the 18 single crochets, we're going to put our bump in here, which will be our triple crochet into the next stitch. And then 5 single crochets. Round 8, we're just going to start with 2 single crochets. And then our triple, each time you're just pulling through 2 loops, and then we're finishing the last 21 stitches in single crochets. And this is the end of round 8. Go ahead and move our stitch marker, piece of string. And round 9 is 15 single crochets. Then our triple, and then the last 8 stitches in single crochets. Each time we're making sure we're popping our bumps out so they don't get stuck behind or in the inside. Now for round 10, we're going to do 23 single crochets, and our very last stitch is going to be our triple crochet. And our triple to end the round. Next one is going to be 6 single crochets. Our triple, and then 17 to finish the round. And we'll pause here to add the eyes. Now this is considered the back where your stitch marker is. If you just trip it right like this, this is the front. So the bumps were placed in a way so that they are pretty well spaced around, but you still have room to place the eyes in the front without being obscured by the bumps. So we're going to secure those between rounds 8 and 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right about here. And actually we're going to move him over just one spot. And then with 2 holes in between, so then in the 3rd hole we'll attach this one. So that's how they're spaced. You can obviously put them wherever you want. This is my suggestion of placement. It's going to be maybe a little bit different to you based on your tension, the yarn you chose, the hook size you chose, and of course the size you chose. So with all those factors, just kind of put it where you think it looks best. So we have them there. Now we're going to continue in round 12 with 18 single crochets. Then a triple crochet, and 5 single crochets. For round 13, we're going to do 9 and then the triple, and the remaining 14 single crochets. Now, this is the last round of adding the bumps. You can certainly continue to make him longer, make him taller, just adding bumps around the rounds sporadically, moving the eyes where you want and according to where you put your bumps and how tall you make him. But I like how short and stubby he is, so we're gonna leave it at this height. This is what the pattern calls for. So the next round is just going to be a round of single crochets, so 24 of them. He's the perfect size for mystery bags or to have as a lower price point at your markets. Emotional support pickles, positive pickles, they're all big sellers at markets. The best thing about this chill pickle is that he sits so that he can be easily placed on a desk or wherever someone would want to place him, and he would not roll away as typical pickles would do. That is our last stitch there. The next round we are going in the back loop only, single crochet in the first stitch, decreasing in the next two. So we're going to start here in the back loop, and it can be kind of tricky to get it in there if you have a tight tension. So that's our single and decrease, and we're going to repeat that the whole way around for a total of 8 times. There's our single and decrease. Pull out our stitch marker there. I'm just going to go ahead and tuck it inside, and we're going to go ahead and stuff our pickle, putting in small bits at a time. You could have started to stuff him a little bit sooner, but it really isn't necessary. So this would also be a perfect on the road make. All you'd need is one color, scissors, and your crochet hook, and you could stop at this point and add the eyes and stuff him and all later. So he'd be a perfect make for on the road to make a bunch of if you've got an upcoming market and you plan on traveling beforehand. Obviously not while you're driving, but if you are a passenger, you could get a lot of these done in a long road trip. For a seasoned crocheter, definitely can get one of these done in half an hour. A beginner, probably about an hour. Now we don't want to stuff him too much because we want him to sit. So just make sure you get in all the little nooks and crannies there. And that looks good. Okay, that's what he looks like stuffed. And now to finish off, we're just going to do 8 decreases. You don't have to do invisible decreases. It is a little hard for this last round on this one to do, so we're just going to do regular decreases. we're going to slip stitch into this last, it's not the last stitch because your decrease was in the last stitch of that row. This is just the next stitch. We're going to slip stitch, okay? And cut off a little bit of a tail there. Pull through. And this is what it means to fasten off, or FO as in abbreviation. And we're just going to go in the front loops of the next 8 stitches. That was the last round that we did. And this is closing up the hole. Just want to be careful when you pull. You don't pull too hard. You kind of hold the base there so that you don't snap your string. You don't have to pull it too tight. And go through. That closes it up. I even come back up here and kind of do a pull in a couple stitches there on the bottom as I weave in my needle, just to kind of secure it a little bit more. I'll make another pass. Cut off our string. And there we have them. Our chill pickle is complete. You can add white for eye accents in the corner. You can embroider that on, or blush, or add a mouth, either by embroidering or with felt. You can glue that on there or sew that on there. But this is what it looks like finished without any of those other face details. And you're all done. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments, and I will be happy to answer them. Happy crocheting!